As Alma and all of his sons keep preaching to the ever-hardening Nephites, the wicked Zoramites now fully defect and rally the Lamanites to attack. So they can enslave the Nephites and glut on their labors and destroy their religion. Doesn't that sound familiar? So, Zerahemnah, the Lamanite chief, attacks Jershon from the Zoramite city, Antionum. His army sees that Captain Moroni's troops have new, shiny, heavy armor. Frightened, the attacking army retreats into the wilderness to find a weaker place to attack. In this scary situation, the inspired Captain Moroni asks Alma, "Where should we go?" And the Lord tells Alma, "Go to Manti." Brilliant. So Moroni and armies head over to the River Sidon and set up an ambush. Although the Lamanites end up totally surrounded, they fight like dragons. But Moroni's rallying cry prevails. "In memory of our God, our religion, our freedom, our peace, our wives, and our children." And they begin to obliterate the Lamanite army. Then Moroni stops the battle. "Zerahemnah, lay down your weapons and covenant never to come again, as our faith in God has delivered you to us." But Zerahemnah in anger refuses Moroni and lunges at him. But Zerahemnah gets scalped and backs away. Then, finally, the rest of the Lamanite army give up their weapons and promise to go away and never come back. So, with peace reestablished, Alma bequeaths the precious records and relics to his son Helaman. Alma blesses the church and wanders off, never to be heard of again. He was probably translated, getting his great wish. Now Helaman and his brothers travel around, strengthening the church. But the Nephite hearts continue to harden and forget God amidst their exceeding wealth. A faction, led by arch-evil bad guy Amalickiah, plots to kill Helaman and others. He flatters the lower judges and the people to make himself king. Mormon laments how quick people forget God, and how one man can cause such great wickedness. Watching this insurrection grow, Moroni tears his coat and writes, "In memory of our God, religion, freedom, peace, our wives and children." He then fastens it to a pole, and after praying, hoping some will still cherish freedom, he goes out with his banner, shouting, "Come forth and promise to maintain your rights and religion." And happily, most people come running and rally around him. So now that Amalickiah and his followers see they're outnumbered, they try to flee to the Lamanite lands. But Moroni's army cuts them off and makes them covenant to uphold their free government. But unfortunately, Amalickiah and a few others escape. Evil Amalickiah immediately stirs up the Lamanite king to go to war against the Nephites. However, most of the king's army had made a covenant to never go back. Not to mention, they feared a fight with Captain Moroni again, and they'd run away to the hill Antipas. But the cunning Amalickiah volunteers to lead the smaller part of the army to compel the deserters to fight. Then Amalickiah tries 3 times to get their leader, Lehanti, to come down the hill and meet with him. So Amalickiah finally goes up to Lehanti and plots, "Hey, rather than fight each other, I'll let your army surround mine. You can be the chief captain, and I'll be your number 2. And they agree. But right after, Amalickiah slowly poisons and kills Lehanti. So the lesson here, folks, stand your ground and don't lower your standards, especially to the super self-centered. Amalickiah, now commanding the unified army, marches back to the land of Nephi and sends some servants to triumphantly meet the king. But he has one of the servants kill the king, and Amalickiah pins this murder on the king's personal servants who ran away in fear. Then he kindly consoles and marries the queen, taking over the entire kingdom by fraud. But during the same 4-year time span, Moroni, the great leader, wisely gets the people prepared both spiritually and physically, building up all their cities with huge dirt and stone walls, with wood pickets and towers on top. Nice. While today, we don't necessarily need to physically fortify our houses, we do need to fortify our minds and homes from things like media, worldly doctrine, contention, and negativity. So, a bridger and General Mormon, who named his son after Captain Moroni, now praises his hero.
That Captain Moroni, strong and mighty, had a perfect understanding, hated war, and loved liberty. In faith and gratitude, he gloried in doing good and covenanted to protect his people with his life. Yes, if all were like him, Satan would never have power over the hearts of men.
So uber-wicked Amalickiah, now king of the Lamanites, sends a large army out to the formerly weak city of Ammonihah. Remember the one-day wipeout? And they're totally dumbfounded by the enormous walls. Oh, yeah, let's go try another city. And they head over to the formerly weak and picked-on city of Noah and find it's even more fortified. But because they'd all promised to attack it, thousands go forth and try, but just get slaughtered. The rest retreat back to the land of Nephi. Later, Chief Judge Nephihah dies, and the high-birth kingmen, those who want a king again, start a division right as Amalickiah is about to personally lead another attack. So Moroni gets the new chief judge, Pahoran, to pass a law to put to death all who won't take up arms to defend their government and liberty. Unfortunately, 4,000 people refuse and choose death. Because of this internal Nephite battle, Amalickiah is able to conquer many cities on the east side. But on his way to Bountiful, Teancum's very skilled army heads them off, and they fight into the night. Teancum is furious at all the bloodshed Amalickiah has caused, so he sneaks into the soundly sleeping camp and kills Amalickiah. But unfortunately, this doesn't end the Great War, and Amalickiah's brother Ammoron takes over as king and holds on to these city strongholds. Watch the next episode as Moroni begins to employ many strategies to win these cities back, including using 2,000 stripling young men led by the prophet Helaman.